Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Bachelor RECAP, a guy's review. It's your boy Dave Neal, stand-up comedian, and we are here having fun tonight. It's midnight in Hollywood, California. We just finished our post-episode live stream for the West Coast audience. Shout out to all of my West Coasters, my friends in Alaska calling in on the episode's live stream. Thank you guys so much for that. That was fun. Jumping right into the recap now. Week 7 recap. We're going to talk about Heather. What she set up. Tantric yoga with Serena, Abigail, and Kit. Their story. Jasenia and Bree. Is the Bree spoiled? Does it last another week? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. If you guys are new to me, hello. I'm a stand-up comedian from the charming state of Rhode Island, and I'm out here in the West Coast giving you guys the West Coast recap. And I don't make any edits. What you see here is what you get. I take notes, I read them back to you guys, and that's what we do. You all ready to start? Here we go. All right, Heather Martin arrives. We've been waiting for this for 3 weeks. Heather Martin arrives, and then she shows up, and then Matt says to Piper, I'll be back in 2 minutes. He was like, I'll be back in 2 minutes. And he just said it like he was going to get appetizers. He's like, Piper, just have a seat. I'll be back in 2 minutes. They brought out some mozzarella sticks. You need to get them while they're still nice and gooey. You don't want them to get cold. The marinara sauce. I'll be 2 minutes. And then he goes and he talks to Heather. And Heather's like, 2 minutes? I just flew across the country for you, guy. Come on. 2 minutes. I just quarantined for a week and a half. Piper then says, I've never felt so invisible. Girl, you're gorgeous. All right, Piper? I don't know who's paying the piper, but you're gorgeous, all right? Don't feel invisible. He sees you, boo. Then Heather shows up, and they're like, who are you? And she was like, I was on Colton season. And then Jasenia's like, so you missed that one, and now you're here? And then Serena says, why didn't you meet him already? And then the other Serena's like, you're just bachelor hopping. And then Kit's like, what's your goal here? Kit becomes the guidance counselor. She's like, what's your plan? Like, are you going to submit to the higher end colleges? Like, if Matt rejects you, what's your fallback plan? But what she really said was like, bitch, what are you doing? That's what Kit said. But we know what she meant. So they all just gang up on Heather because they're like, we got over bullying. And then Katie leaves for one episode and they're like, hold my mimosa. And then they go right into it. Heather showed up and had no idea what she was getting into. Heather was expecting they were all going to have pillow fights in the first night. It'd be like, what's he like? Tell me about him. How does he kiss? Eyes open? Wow, crazy. And then all of a sudden they're like, you got to go. And she's like, what? This is gangster shit. Whoa. Serena says Heather is a virus infecting the whole system. Well, I've got news. Can you imagine that? They're like, well, we thought the virus started in Wuhan, but it turns out it was at the Nemacolin Resorts in Pennsylvania by a white chick in a white caravan. She brought the virus and affected the whole system. Matt dumps Heather very quickly. He just dumps her. He said, I'm falling in love with women that are here. And then in that don't drive minivans. That was the main. He was like, you got to go. I like women that don't have sliding doors with, trunks that open up when you wave your foot in front of it. Anyway, Heather wins the world's record for shortest relationship ever. It barely lasted one commercial break. If Heather can't spin this experience into a spokeswoman gig for Enterprise Car Rental, miss opportunity. Need a rental car? Don't know for how long. Booked it for 6 days. Turns out you only need it for 1. Join Enterprise. I don't know. Golden opportunity. We don't have Dodge Chargers, but what we do have is a Dodge Caravan. As soon as Heather pulls the car in, Heather puts the car in drive and starts driving the way. Then Matt's back to playing tonsil hockey with Piper. There he is. They have the rose ceremony. Abigail survives over Serena C. Big win for decency. Big win for decency. I can't believe in the comment section some people were like, I don't understand why people don't like Serena C. Are you watching the same show I'm watching? Are you kidding me, guys? Let me get this thing out of the way here. Let me get these bullets out of the way here. We don't need that. Are you watching the same show I'm watching? Serena C's a bully. She's a bully. She's no bueno. No bueno. It doesn't mean you leave her death threats on her social media. Just don't, you know what I mean? But she's still a bully. Sad to see Chelsea go. She leaves while telling Matt, you're amazing. She gives him a nice hug and says, you're amazing. I mean, that's a good, graceful way to leave. Look, I guess we're not at the stage of the show yet where Matt walks people out. Like, when is it the stage when it's not so much a conveyor belt of ladies that go by, but he actually walks them out? You know what I mean? I think that'll be they're right on that threshold. Then of course, who shows up? Old Cancel Chris. Cancel Chris shows up with the date card. Oh boy, I don't know. It says, Serena P, can our love go deeper, Matt? I'm like, geez. They have a second one-on-one. It's their second one-on-one before Abigail and Jasenia got their first one-on-one. Is Abigail the first person to ever get a first impression rose and never get a one-on-one date? You'd think if you're on the show, you're quarantined, you'd think you should be obliged to at least one-on-one date. You know what I mean? That, again, that's the Bernie Sanders in me. If I'm elected bachelor, everybody gets a one-on-one date. No, all the top 1% get all the one-on-one dates, and the middle class is shrinking. Everybody deserves a one-on-one date. Pretty good, right? What's the deal with your Bernie impression? All right. Was that a time? What's the deal with the Bernie impression? Matt says I just lost one subscriber. Matt says he worked his way into the friend zone, so he needed another date with her. Matt's good at that. Matt's good at building chemistry and then ignoring one girl for another. He's just like a kid in a Toys R Us. He's like, but do you even get that reference? I think they shut down. But he's like, oh, a red ball. Oh, cool, a Tonka truck. Oh, wow, crayons. You know, he's just all over the place. They do tantric yoga, tapping into each other's chakras. If they enjoy it, they may tap into it a second time. You know what I mean? Multiple tapping. You know what? While we're at it, tap that like button. Go ahead and bump your Harrison on top of that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And then Papa can get a different colored t-shirt. How about that, folks? Serena says, not for me. Not something I would have chosen for a date today. Now, look, you know me, PC Dave, just hanging out, trying to be, as inclusive. Isn't it a little wild in today's world to surprise somebody with a tantric yoga date? Isn't that a little crazy? I don't know. It's one thing if it's like, oh, we went to sushi. I didn't know you didn't like mercury poisoning in your food. But a tantric yoga date? You'd think you'd throw that one by somebody. Because I'm sure like some of the girls would love a tantric yoga date. I know you guys, you're out there watching like, oh boy, I haven't had a tantric yoga date since the swinging 60s or whatever, I see you guys out there. What's happening? Hey, Sandy. Matt goes to kiss her. She pulls away. He goes for that kiss. She goes, oh, no, I don't think so. No worries. Look, my fiance did the same thing. The first time I went to kiss my fiance, I was like, oh, it's the time. The sun was setting. It started to drizzle. It felt like, a Nicholas Sparks moment. I went to kiss, and she goes, huh? She did like a triple chin, like, huh? She did, did that move, the Matrix move where like the bullets are flying. She's like, no. She just T-Rex arms it. Okay. I think she likes him, but is a little shy by the whole production. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? Do you think Serena P likes him? I think she likes him. I've always loved Serena P. I think he likes her more than she likes him, though, at this point. But maybe she's shy. Maybe she doesn't like doing tantric yoga in front of a guy holding a boom pole, with his beer belly hanging out, kind of trying to catch good sound. They move it along. Matt James, advertisement for him riding his Peloton bike. Shameless product placement. Remember when Peloton went viral for that sexist commercial? Remember that? No, that's because it's a very fast cycle of news and we can't keep up and it's meant to divide us. Moving along. I digress. You guys like my new microphone? Thanks to my Patreon members for helping me afford this new microphone. It's worth more than it sounds. Anyway. Group date, Matt starts off by saying, let's argue and have tough conversations. Bro, be careful what you wish for because that's the start of a marriage. Just arguing. You ever just get in a fight with your lady and you don't know why you're fighting, but, things were just too boring around the house, so you start poking fights at each other? No, just me? Let's talk about your in-laws. Bree tells Matt she had to quit her job to come on the show. No pressure, Matt. None at all. She lost her health care in a pandemic for you. She's all about love and hand sanitizer. You know what I mean? Don't cough on her. Speaking about chakras, she better open that chakra or she's going to be getting some antibodies. Love to lay my antibodies on you. What? Put my antibodies on that back. Come on, guys. It's midnight. Speaking about stepping aside from your dream job, at least Chris has those book sales he can fall back on. I'm laughing. He'll be fine. He's going to take an episode off. What's going to happen? Look, I'm not getting political in this video. I've done my work. I'm continuing to do my work. I've got a ton of other videos about this. I'm trying to stay focused on the content at hand. But boy, stepping aside from your dream job, the irony, Abigail says, I'm not stepping down. I'm stepping aside for a moment in time. Abigail says, let me know if you aren't into me. And then Matt James says, my heart's pulling me into another direction. And then he walks her out. And this was one of the saddest exits ever, okay? I'm going to read a quote of what she said. We love Abigail. Don't we love Abigail? This is what she said in the old, minivan on the drive out. She said, for me to lay it all out and for him to say he doesn't see it, it's eating me alive right now. I feel like I'm constantly the person that makes men realize what they want next, but they never want it with me. Whoa. That's one of those times when you're like, oh, this show gets deep. You know, in between all the catty drama and the baloney, this show gets deep because everyone's been there. Everyone's been Mr. Right Now, you know, and then you get dumped, and then, you know, she goes on with the, you know, phlebotomologist or whatever they're called, you know, some nicer paying job, whenever you can't pronounce the job title, it's nice. You know what job titles you can pronounce? Comedian, okay? No health care. I'm with you there, Bree. We'll sneeze on each other. Build up our immunity. We're going to need it. Matt to Rachel said, when I'm not around you, I'm thinking about you. And then Rachel said, my only worry is if I'm not at the end with you. Get on one knee right now. It's a done deal. I'm head over heels in love. And this was the first, like, real moment where, like, whoa. You know, you could talk about whatever else you want to talk about, but when it comes to what we're watching on camera, we're watching two people fall in love. That's what we're watching. You know what I mean? Kit tells Matt she doesn't want kids till 25 and she's a long-term investment. Oh, not wanting kids till 25. Can you imagine having that many eggs you can discard? We're out here in our 40s with like 2 good eggs left being like, let's freeze something. The line of the night by Kit in her interview, she said, reject me now so I don't have to deal with the emotions I have. I feel like that's a t-shirt I should make. Just reject me now so I don't have to deal with my emotions. That's such a, what is she, Generation Z? Oh my gosh. I'm getting arthritis in my lower back just thinking of how young she is. Shout out to Sandy and her husband. I love everyone who comments. I love people who slide into my DMs and tell me about their life story. It helps me triangulate who's actually listening. Shout out to Sandy and her husband. They're in their 70s. They always watch The Bachelor together, and they watch my recaps. I hope you guys have a great, or I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. I hope we can all look forward to our 70s, being with our loved one, watching reality TV. And I truly mean that. The fact that you guys have yourself is a testament that love can stand the test of time as long as you don't meet someone on national TV, right, guys? So Sandy and your husband, cheers to you guys, and thank you for being so loyal and nice out there. I appreciate you. Aloe Black performs. Sounded beautiful. Look, it sucks that this is the episode that everybody's boycotting because the guy's beautiful. He's got a great sound. I loved Aloe Black. Silky smooth voice. And I'm not saying they're just going to boycott this episode, but obviously with everything that's going on in Bachelor Nation, a lot of people decided not to live tweet the episode, not to discuss it. They're kind of trying to, everyone can vote with their dollar. They can vote with their social media, whatever they want to do. But it's too bad because Aloe Black, I'm sure he'll have success regardless of the show. But this was probably not the episode if you wanted to stand out because everyone's like, no. But good for him. It sounded great. And then they're kissing, Rachel and Matt. Everything's starting to fall into place. It's a weird season, but everything's starting to fall into place. I'm loving Matt James. I'm really loving him. I don't know. Do you guys agree? Leave a comment. Let me know. I love his reactions. He's got the big eyes and the goofy reactions. I love this guy. Kit shows up in Matt's bachelor pad. Look, this never ends well. Usually you show up in someone's bachelor pad after hours, you're going to get cut. But what does she do? She dumps him. She's like, you got to go. You know what I mean? Which makes you wonder, was she just in it kind of influencer-wise, and she was like, I got to get out before we do the hometowns? Maybe she didn't love him, or maybe she was just like, dump me so you can put me out of my misery. Kit says whoever ends up being his wife is a very lucky person. And so what? What are you telling me, guys? A 21-year-old wasn't ready to make the leap into marriage? Could have told you that beforehand, but I digress. Jasenia has her one-on-one date. Matt takes Jasenia for stunt driving, hopefully safer than the ATV rides, right, guys? I wish Heather joined this date with her minivan. Wouldn't that be fun? Just drift the loser cruiser. Just drifting as you pull into a Costco for some wholesale pickles. Bunch of jars of pickles and burnt tires. That's a Costco parking lot. You know it. And if you go to Costco, you're not getting any younger. I haven't been able to go to Costco because my apartment's so small. I can't fit anything anywhere. But let me tell you something. The second I get a nice big pantry, I'm going to Costco on a Saturday with those big Mack truck carts, and I am just going to buy a lot of peanut butter. I'll tell you that. All right. So anyway, I'm torn on Jasenia. She's so kind with Matt, but she's also low-key a bully, right? She kind of becomes a bully when everyone else is a bully. I don't know. Do they train the lead on how to hold the rose up before they dump someone? They hold the rose up, and then the person's all excited, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a rose. And he's like, I can't give this to you. And she's like, what? That's not how it's supposed to go. She went from happy to puppy dog to being crushed. And you could see Matt James struggling to dump her. He was like, man, I'm going to regret this because he's sexually attracted to her. It's like, come on, Jasenia is sexy. She's sexy. And he's got to just send home. Like in no other time in his life would he ever be dismissing such beautiful women. But, Chris Harrison, old cancel Chris over there, they gave him like 1,000 different, women, all beautiful. Jasenia, Piper, Bree, Sarah, Abigail, Katie, all these beautiful women. And they're like, no, you can only have one. And he's like, I can't make a choice. It's like when you're watching Netflix and they're like, how about all these shows? And you're like, how about I just watch all the previews for 2 hours and then go to bed? That's exactly what Bachelor is. You just watch all the previews till you go to bed. Then the one you choose ends up being a dud, right, guys? That's how it works. Okay, anyway, I think that's gold. All right. Imagine if Jasenia orders an Uber and Heather shows up. That would be fun, right? Just slides the door open. And she's like, fancy seeing you here. Oh, howdy. Where to? Airport. Me too. Great. Rose ceremony. They send old Piper home. Old Piper goes home. What else is there to say about that? Not too much. I'm going to read some of my favorite people of this week that donated. I appreciate everyone so much. You guys have been incredible. Last year, I started I started getting donations for my recap after doing this for 6 years, and it would be like $3 and $5, and the whole joke was like, just donate you $3 and you can get some guacamole on your Chipotle. I was like, it was total fun. But now people are donating so much that it's literally been changing my life. I mean that. It's been changing my life. We've been getting donations and Christmas presents and different Venmos and Patreon requests, and more people are coming in with, it really has been amazing. So for the people that donated this week, Renee and Chelsea, thank you so much. Supporting your channel, $25 donation. Rachel gave $5, great and important YouTube content. Leslie Rawlings, $10 for the podcast, thank you. Christina L. paid $25 to Tasha and Pasty Dave. Keep up the good work, you two. And then $10 from Cal Hansen. Thank you for the content. Thank you guys all so much. And to everyone else who donated in the live stream, Vincent, I got a $50 donation in the live stream. You guys have just been completely incredible. I have to share my gratitude with all of you. We come here just to make you guys laugh. I love posting stupid things on this YouTube, reading your comments. We have a ton of fun. Sometimes it gets heavy with some of the content we make, and sometimes it's light and irreverent. It depends on what we're talking about. But the live stream I just recorded an hour ago, I was taking phone calls from people. Huey and Gemma calling in from Alaska. Vincent and his ladies in Alaska, different phone calls. We had Jedi calling in from Arkansas, Georgia, Lisa Reed in Colorado, Miami, people all over the place calling in. Thank you guys so much for that. If you like my recaps and haven't caught the live stream, go check out the live stream. It's a ton of fun. We just talk loose chat about Bachelor Nation. You can see it. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out that. More videos to come. This is going to be a crazy week, a lot happening. Just all I ask of you guys, be kind to each other, spread that love, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.